2-0 last week, increased the win streak to 15 games now. Still perfect in WAC play and 100th win at Division I level. Pretty big week for New Mexico State basketball last week.
Yeah, it was ended up being fun. Certainly wished it hadn't come down to the last second buzzer beater. Now that it's over, it'll be fun to relive when the season's over a little bit more. But disappointed in how we played Saturday. We've talked about it at length in here. We've talked about it with our team, that you get into this stretch of the season and it's just hard. It's just everything's harder. The opponents are very familiar with your personnel, with your sets, and it's vice versa as well. And everybody's playing for something, seeding, etc. And I don't know. After watching the video, I almost felt like we're a little tired. I think most teams, you get into this time of the year. It's a long season, and so we need to address that this week with only one game on Saturday, and hopefully we can get some fresh legs back underneath us down the stretch.
Coach, what did you see from Trev in the two games, and how important is practice this week for him going into Saturday?
Yeah, we limited him minute-wise Thursday. That was the plan. And then on Friday, he had some swelling in his knee. And he was, Friday night when I went to bed, Mike, the trainer, indicated that he didn't think he was going to be able to go. And then Saturday, he went through shoot-around and felt better. His knee felt better. And so he was cleared to play. And he got the 2 early fouls, which we couldn't afford with Terrell Brown being out that game. And that was tough. We survived that. And then in the second half, my gut, he didn't have a good rhythm. I didn't like the way he was playing. I thought he took 2 poor shots, kind of me shots, and so we sat him for a long period of time. And then in the end, we were just tired and we needed a spark. So he made a couple plays there, defensive steal, a nice drive and dish for a couple free throws for Yvonne. But I think this week's going to be huge for him. Just to get his timing back, get his rhythm back, get more confidence in his knee. So this week of just one game is going to be really good for him and for a lot of our guys.
How lenient are you with not just Trev, but like guys coming back from injury in terms of trying to get themselves back into a rhythm, but also making sure that they're not being a detriment to the team while they're trying to be getting
I missed the first part of the question. How what?
So how lenient are you in terms of just letting guys get back into a rhythm?
It's individually based. I don't have a timetable for that. It's Division I college basketball. Guys don't lose their spots for being injured, and we don't. If you don't, a lot of people will say if you don't practice, you're not going to play, and I don't believe in that either. If you're ready to go on game day, but you weren't on practice, that's just the way it is sometimes. So we just try to monitor it and keep a pulse on it, and when they're ready to go, they're ready to go. And some guys transition back smoothly, some it takes a little more time, and so hopefully Trev will be a much better version of him by Saturday.
How big is it to also just not have a game on Thursday? We're able to get this much time to rest.
Yeah, like I said, I'm looking forward to it. We need it right now. We got a huge road trip after that. On Saturday we're going to be playing a team that's as hot as anybody in the league, and they're playing awfully well. So to have the whole week to just kind of take a deep breath and get off our feet a little bit, we're going to give them more time off than we probably ever have, just based on what I saw on video. It just, we're obviously depleted, so guys are practicing probably more reps than they would have in the past. It's getting into mid-late February, and guys are playing more minutes than they have. I think Rice played 38 minutes on Saturday, and certainly, other than the major injuries, we have our, nicks and cuts along the way like everybody does. And so, again, our hope is to get them off their feet a little bit more and just try to get them to feel fresh on Saturday and obviously down the stretch as well.
The final result obviously was what you wanted with Jabari's shot going in. I don't know if he meant to bank it or not, but execution-wise, was that what you were looking for, him kind of curling off that and shoot in it for the wing? Is that what you were looking for?
You know, it's a play we've run 4 or 5 times since we've arrived. Sometimes at the end of the half, if we have 4 to 7 seconds left, and it was a perfect time for that particular play. And we basically just, you know, get our guard and a banana cut and get him going downhill, and the other guys kind of space out as he's dribbling the ball, and then we just let him play. You know, I'm a big believer in letting guys play at that point in the game, because if you start running the same thing, then it's easily scouted. You know, like other teams, we know if it's late game, we got a pretty good idea what they're going to run. And so, you know, they just played. They just played. And Evan made a nice, you know, handoff and didn't try to do too much. And then Rice, you know, got squared up and had a decent look at the basket, obviously. I don't think he meant to bank it, but sometimes, you know, luck bounces your way. I was more, after watching the tape, disappointed in just, we had 2 just silly turnovers in the last 4 or 5 possessions that could have easily cost us the game. It's disheartening at this point in the year with the kind of guys that are making those plays. That just can't happen. And we just gave the ball away, you know, twice in the last 4 or 5 possessions. We didn't get a shot off, and a couple of them were layups, dunks. That, you know, the turnovers resulted in layups and dunks for them, and that's disappointing. You know, today or tomorrow, whenever we decide to watch the video with the team, it's going to be the tone's going to be that we lost the game. The undertone of the meeting, the video, will be that we lost the game because we just didn't play very well defensively. You know, offensively, we did some really good things. You know, we moved the ball and we got it inside the zone. They were switching defenses and we handled it really well. You know, didn't shoot free throws great, but we shot the ball pretty well overall. But defensively, we just didn't have no juice. We couldn't guard the ball. We weren't checking out as ferociously as we have in the past. Our get back a couple of times, you know, when we transitioned defense, we weren't talking. So it was just one of our more porous performances, in my opinion, that we've had in a long, long time. And that's scary, thinking, you know, we're going down the stretch and everybody's coming after us. So we got to tighten the reins up. And like I said earlier, we got all week to do it.
What you've seen from UTRGV the last, I guess it's 3 weeks, it's a 5-game winning streak. I think basically since the last time you played them. What have they been maybe doing a little bit differently since that last time, or has it just kind of been the same old UTRGV?
They're a good team, you know. They got some guys out front that have been around with Levi and Jackson and Varner that are their leaders, and they're fortunate because they have depth. They play a lot of guys. You know, they play 10 or 11 guys almost every game, and they play really, really hard, and they know their style. They're confident. Certainly winning helps that confidence. But, you know, Varner's, you know, the head of the snake for sure. Levi is definitely the guy that makes them go. And his personality, I think, just trickles into their team. And he's such a tough competitor. And then those other guys, Varner and Jackson, are really good athletes and scorers, and they've got experience now. And the young guys seem to be just following suit and get behind those guys in supporting roles. And he's got them playing really, really hard, and they're playing with a lot of confidence. And we'll have our hands full on Saturday for sure.
Is Terrell just a game time decision, late scratch, and is he still listed as day-to-day?
Yeah, he's still day-to-day. You know, he's got a foot sprain. You know, he had x-rays. They were negative, fortunately. But he's been in a walking boot, and, you know, the trainers are working around the clock with him to try to get him back on the floor as soon as he can. But, you know, we'll see.